Do you fish pressured ponds like this one behind me? Well, I've got a technique for you. Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm a brand ambassador for Discount Tackle, and today I'm going to talk to you about Finesse jerkbaits. Now, when I say Finesse jerkbaits, I'm basically just talking about any jerkbaits in like the 1.5 all the way up to like the 4-inch size, but I'm not necessarily talking about your traditional mega bass or lucky craft. What's interesting about the bass fishing industry, in my opinion, is the fact that jerkbaits have really become a lost art. Unless you're fishing in the spring, people really don't fish with jerkbaits that much anymore. But what's interesting is these baits right here can be highly productive, especially in ponds like this, because obviously the forage in a pond is probably going to be a little bit smaller, and a small jerkbait like this can really mimic it well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tie one of these onto my ultralight, and we're going to get to bass fishing. Let's go.
As you can see, I've got a plethora of jerkbaits in my hands right here. We've got sinking models, we've got floating models, we've even got suspending models. Because it's early summer, I'm actually going to start with a floating model. This is just a Rapala original floater. This one right here is an F3 size. It's extremely small. You definitely don't have to go this small. The F5 and the F7 are great finesse jerkbaits as well. But as for me, I'm actually fishing with an ultralight today, so it makes more sense to go small. I'm not suggesting that you guys need to do that. I'm only doing it because I just love ultralight fishing. Today I'm actually using a Daiwa Presso travel ultralight rod. It's only 5.5 feet long. I've got a Daiwa Revros LT1000 on there, and I literally have 2-pound monofilament on there. Again, go ahead and use your bass fishing combo. Use whatever you like. Regardless of what you use, the technique is still going to stay the same. Now, one of the biggest reasons that I think a finesse jerkbait works well in a pressured pond like this is because these bass see so many lures, and so few fishermen use little baits like this these days. Most bass fishermen are flipping craws, they're throwing crankbaits, they're throwing chatterbaits, so on and so forth. They've kind of forgotten about the classic baits like this. As far as how I like to work them, it really varies. You can obviously vary your retrieve speed quite a bit, but I usually like to just reel it down, twitch them 2 or 3 times, pause it, twitch it 2 or 3 times, pause it. What's nice about the floating model is you can literally work it just like a topwater as well. Hey, cool. All right. This would be a bonus sunfish right here. Okay, so I actually just saw a cruising bass, and I tried to work my floating jerkbait in front of him, and he had no interest in coming to the surface to feed. He seemed like he was very much positioned closer to the bottom, so I think this sinking model is actually going to be our best friend. Because this jerkbait sinks, I'm going to fish it a little bit faster to keep it off the bottom. There we go. What's this? Oh, what the heck? Well, I wasn't expecting this. All I'm catching is sunfish on these things. It's a little fatty right there. I'm confident I'm gonna find a bass, but I'll take these as a bonus for now. All right, micro jerkbait, man. It's a multi-species. Look at that. That's a big old bluegill is what that is. This one's a straight up bluegill. The other two were sunfish. All right, okay, well, I don't know where the bass are, but at least I'm getting sunfish action. I mean, I can't complain too much. All right, I found some water that I think is a little bit deeper. We're kind of fishing in the heat of the day, so these fish are probably not super active right now. So I'm gonna try to work this sinking model over deeper water a little bit and see if I can draw some up out of that. There we go. It took me a long time, but I finally got one. That's definitely a bass. I think it's just a matter of where I am right now. I think there's just a greater population of fish right over here. Nothing all that big, but as you can see, he wanted that little jerkbait. Barely got him. All right, well, we've got a couple sunfish to our name, and now we finally got a bass. And on a pressured body of water, you can't complain about any fish you catch. So I've seen a little bit of a commotion over here on the surface, like things have been getting chased. The other thing is, it seems like there's actually like a little point in the water right here, and it seems like it actually drops off a little bit. So because it's the heat of the day right now and really not the right time to be bass fishing, I have a feeling they're positioning right over here because there's some of that deeper, cooler water. There's another one. There we go. Seems like they're kind of stacked up in this one little spot. Oh, he spit it. See, that's the thing with a jerkbait. You want to make sure you keep their head down. That one jumped and shook it. I was doing what I could to keep my rod tip down to try to keep them from jumping, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. I had a lot of line out there on that fish. There we go. All right, keep his head down, come on. He's trying to jump. He's not all that big. He's about like the last one, to be honest. But geez, it seems like this is the spot where it's gonna happen, guys. Just gotta stay patient. Just another about like the last. And see how he wanted that? That tells me that this color is probably not so bad because he actually ate that really good. Another just little bass. Hopefully we can find one a little bit bigger than this. But I tell you what, on this 5.5 foot ultralight with 2 pound test, can't beat it. All right, see you, buddy. Took me a while to get a bite. There's another one. Seriously, what is going on with this area? They're just feeding up aggressively. And I tell you what, on a pressured pond, I will take this kind of action all day. Man, there's just a bunch about the same size just feeding aggressively in this one little location. They're all the same size, not all that big, but I'll take them. Okay, that was a terrible release. Sorry, buddy. I wish I could oh my gosh, it's like automatic now. This is insane, guys. I wish I could see exactly what was underwater here, because there's something that's just holding these fish heavy. I'm glad I found this. I don't even care that these fish are small. Like I said, when you're fishing with an ultralight and 2 pound tests, you can't complain about any size bass. And honestly, one other thing to think about is I'm not sure how old this pond is. There might not be a lot of monsters in here. This is not a natural pond. And so being man-made, you never know. It might not be all that old and there might be a lot of smaller, younger fish in it. See you, buddy. There he is. It's automatic, guys. There's one little spot on this entire pond that clearly has it going on. Oh, I gotta catch up with him. He's coming towards me. Gotta love when they pull drag. Even the little guys, man, they got fight in them even at a young age. I actually think this color is a really good option too, because it's chromed to where it looks like a minnow, but on the bottom it's got orange, it's got blue on the top, so it can definitely mimic these really colorful sunfish as well. Plus, with the high sun right now, the flash from that chrome is definitely something you like. For me, my color choices when it comes to jerkbaits is similar to a lot of other hard baits. Basically, with the high sun, I like something with a little bit of flash. I like something natural. Sometimes translucent can be good. When it's overcast, a lot of times I'll use the fully painted colors. Another one. God, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Just another little guy. Man, they're all the same size. It's crazy. That's the thing with schooling fish though. This is probably a school of bass, and bass, just like a lot of other species, they school up with fish at the same size. Seems like these, oh, I was about ready to say these fish might have calmed down a little bit, but now I just got into another one. Might be a little bit bigger. Oh boy, he's gonna jump. He's either just a harder fighter, or he's a little bigger. He's a little bigger. Just as soon as I was about ready to give up on this spot, I hooked my biggest bass of the day. Oh boy, oh boy. He's not bad. He's not bad. I'll take a fish like this any day, baby. You think you wanted that jerkbait? My friends, I'm telling you, these things work. Oh boy, sketchy, sketchy place. Come on. This is just a little Rapala ultralight minnow. It's actually my first time ever using this particular model. Very nice little jerkbait. Long, skinny bass right there. Nothing huge, but I tell you what, a great time. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Oh my gosh, it literally hit the water and he hammered it. Seriously? This is insane. I've caught all my bass in one spot. I guess that's not super uncommon when it comes to fishing ponds, but at the same time, it's crazy. Right in the face, again. See you later, buddy. There he is. I knew I was gonna catch another. Is it bigger or is he just fighting hard? Stay down, stay down, stay down. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's sketching me out. I haven't seen this fish yet. Oh, about like all the other ones, man. You know what's crazy? Look what that fish has in his mouth. You see these tiny little minnows? Man, they're just feeding up heavy on these little minnows. See you later. Okay, this was in that fish's mouth. They are feeding on tiny minnows. This speaks exactly to what I was talking about. The forage in ponds like this is not all that big. And so a typical bass fisherman comes out here throwing his big fluke, throwing his spinner bait, throwing all these things. But the reality is if the fish are feeding on that, they're not looking to eat a big old spinner bait. They're not looking to eat a big old jig. They're looking for stuff like this. And that's where the finesse jerkbait, my friends, boom. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if I wanted to catch some of the bigger bass in here, I think what I would be best off doing, there's a fish. A little bit better, a little bit bigger. Well, I was about ready to talk about what I thought I needed to do to catch bigger fish. Well, then all of a sudden this guy comes up and eats it. and it's definitely not a small fish. It's not a massive fish. Man, I gotta let that 2-pound test just chill. I gotta let him pull drag because this is only 2-pound test. And so I really don't want to break off. Plus, I really like this jerkbait. Yeah, nice fish. Nice fish, nice fish. Boom. I'm telling you what, I caught a bunch of small fish, but all of a sudden this guy came to play. And it's funny because it's still in the exact same spot where I've caught all the other ones. And he's shaking his head. And if you notice what just happened there, he shook his head and the hook flew free. You got to keep him down, and that's why you don't want him to jump. Look at that. Definitely my best fish so far. On 2-pound test, that's an absolute brute. Awesome, 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 awesome. What I was actually about ready to say is I think I could catch some of the bigger fish more consistently by upsizing my finesse jerkbait just a little bit and then transitioning more to a bluegill or sunfish pattern, because I have a feeling some of the bigger fish are probably honing in on a little bit bigger forage, probably more so the bluegill. Man, I tell you what, these finesse jerkbaits have become one of my favorite ways to fish. Oh, there he is. Boom shakalaka, man. We are just hammering them. It's another small one. But I tell you what, what's great about a finesse jerkbait too is you can buy it and you can use it for more than just bass. These are great for trout. Oh, he spit it. That's why you want to keep them down. These are great for trout. They're great for bass. They're great for crappie. They're obviously even doable for sunfish and bluegill as well. So I think that's what's cool. I'm all about buying lures that you can use for multi-species.
Okay, that's a wrap. And I tell you what, for fishing a little pressured pond like this and catching the amount of fish that I did, I consider this a total win. Not only did I catch a bunch of little 6 to 8 inch bass that were super fun on ultralight, I did actually catch a couple decent ones mixed in, and I don't think I can complain about that at all. If you want to pick up the exact gear I used today, I will link it all in the description below. Discount Tackle offers all of this stuff and more, and obviously they offer it at great prices. And then lastly, if you want to see more fishing with light line, my channel has a lot of that. You can check out my YouTube channel in the description below. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.